start, could you tell us a little bit about you, your background, and your role today?
I am Stuart Smith. I'm the Chief Marketing and Growth Officer at Caulipower. Prior to that, I spent 10 years with Ogilvy and WPP, which is one of the large advertising and marketing holding companies.
If you could tell us a little bit more about your company, the position in the space. I think most of our relationships and our clients are pretty aware of who Caulipower is, but just a little bit of an overview about that.
Yeah. Okay, so Caulipower, our mission statement is to reinvent America's favorite foods, one healthy meal hack at a time. So you could say that at the heart of the company is this wonderful woman, Gail Becker, who is basically going down the freezer aisle, looking at every sort of frozen food group, every category, and just saying to herself, can we make that tastier and can we make it healthier? And if the answer is yes, then we put it into our innovation process. At the moment, we don't just do frozen, healthier, better for you pizzas. We've just launched America's healthiest chicken tender late last year. We've just gone into riced cauliflower, flavored riced cauliflower. We do sweet potatoes, which are a bread replacement, and cauliflower tortillas. Everything we do is gluten-free, and we have a range of products. We're not trying to be in any particular niche. We're definitely gluten-free, but we do vegan products, we do vegetarian products, we have meat products, we have keto products. But at the end of the day, we're just trying to make the food that you and I eat just a little bit healthier than the normal traditional versions of those foods.
Thank you. And then, of course, the time that we're in right now is just different than anything we've ever seen with COVID. So could you speak to a bit about how your priorities have shifted and how Caulipower is reacting to COVID?
Well, the thing that happened straight away, obviously, is we actually, I think this for me and the team, it's about day 63 of self-isolation. We've got used to working remotely, but the moment that we all had to work from home, everything really worked very smoothly. So, you know, in terms of the things we've adapted to very quickly, working from home has been something we've been able to adapt to very quickly. I think one of the things that we've noticed, though, as everyone would have noticed, is that there's a fantastic quote actually from an old British Prime Minister called Macmillan. He was asked a question once. Someone said to him, "What do you fear most in politics, sir?" And he said, "Events, dear boy, events." So every day brings a new event. Every day we're all on the phone talking and saying, okay, so how's that going to shift our strategy? How's that going to change what we do? And I think necessity has become the mother of invention. Every time our ecosystem takes a shift to the left or a jump to the right, you know, manufacturers here, supply chain, retailers, all of the changes that they're going through, everything that they are having to do, we are having to adapt. The good thing is that after the initial burst of sort of panic buying and freezer filling, we have managed to keep all of our products on the shelves. So no matter what's happened, whether a retailer's been cancelling promotions or whether the supply chain is telling us that they can only ship product once a week, not 3 times a week, whatever it might be, we seem to have adapted and we've managed to keep our products on the shelves. So I think we've been lucky, but I think then if I said that, my team would be quite upset with me because actually it's nothing to do with luck. It's all to do with an immense amount of hard work.
And to go off of that, you know, obviously all manufacturers are looking at kind of a shift in the practicalities of running their business right now, with supply chains and, as you mentioned, retailers kind of changing the plan. And that's kind of the day-to-day, but Caulipower is also really addressing some big changes from a socioeconomic, environmental landscape, and really making a big shift in how you support consumers during this time. Could you speak to that?
Yeah, I mean, we're trying to do a couple of things. I think one of the things we noticed, you have to sort of say, okay, so everything's changed, so how do we need to change? And when you start asking yourself those questions, it's surprising how many things that pop up that need to change. You know, our social media channel has always been very light and funny and interesting. But the thing is, we can't suddenly become tone deaf. You know, we've got to understand how our community of people are feeling. So we've changed the content of our feed. We've changed the role of the brand in our social media to be more helpful, to give people more home cooking advice, to show them how our products might play a role. Obviously, that's a self-interested thing, but also to give them more recipes that just might be easier, give them more meal hacks that they can do at home. And then at the other end of it, we obviously take purpose very seriously, and we have a relationship with the American Heart Association that we're announcing and hopefully will have announced. We're giving $1 million over 3 years to their National Teaching Garden program to teach schools, to give schools, 100 schools every year, the ability to build a teaching garden so kids can learn how to plant food, how to grow food, and learn about healthy eating. Obviously, the American Heart Association is very committed to that because it's fixing the problem of heart health at its source. Now, that's great in a world where schools are going to school and children are going to school, and there are headmasters and headmistresses there available to actually apply for the grants that we're going to give out. But obviously we had to pivot. So our strategy changed very quickly. We decided that feeding people healthy food, particularly people at risk or in difficult economic situations, better to feed them than to teach them how to grow healthy food. So we pivoted very quickly, and we've turned our first year program, at least the first 2 months of it, we will deliver about 100,000 meals to about 5,000 at-risk families across 4 cities, California, in Los Angeles, Philadelphia, Birmingham, and Chicago. In terms of how we're reacting to it from a product point of view, we were very lucky. We were already getting ready for what I call retailer.com. When I started looking at our online sales, I was looking at the online sales made through our retailers, and I was astonished to discover quite how high a percentage of our sales were already going through retailers' own .com sites, whether that's click and deliver or click and collect or delivery. So we started renovating our ability to sell through those channels in a highly efficient and an effective way. So one of the big changes we made was how we are doing online marketing, not through Amazon, through our own retailers. And obviously that was perfect because they then pivoted and started to put a new emphasis on their .com, their click and collect, their delivery channels. So I feel like that was one thing where just through a bit of luck and not too much judgment, we found ourselves a little ahead of that curve. So I think one of the things we've had to adapt to is obviously a new retail environment. There'll be less people going into stores. There will be less volume and less velocity going through stores, depending on how things develop. But for sure, consumers' habits are going to change forever. People have been online shopping now, and people have been doing online grocery shopping now for over 60 days. That means that there are a lot of people that are not going to go back to the norm. A lot of people will continue to do that, and I think retailers have worked that out, and I think any of the CPG firms have also worked that out too.
Mm-hmm. That is such a good point, and I am lucky enough that I get to work with you, and so I know firsthand how data-driven Caulipower and you and your entire team really are. But could you speak to how you're using data right now to react to the changes in the environment?
Sure. Well, for good or for evil, I'm actually a scientist in marketing, so I have a PhD in chemistry, bizarrely, and somehow I ended up in marketing. So I do like data, and I like the insights that drive data. And I think the insights that SPINS is able to give us is not just good data, and it's not just well-organized data, which is then information, and it's not just well-organized information, which then becomes knowledge. It's then how you apply it. So what we've done is I've sort of pulled together what I call a demand generation team within the company. They all come together, and once a month we look at the data that you provide, and we have an analyst who goes over that and turns that into a presentation that takes us through everything we need to know about the environment. Now, again, luckily, that is something that we started putting in place in the middle of last year. As you know, we extended our remit with you sort of sometime in Q3, and everything is now coming to fruition. So at the very moment when we need the most visibility that we can have into how we are performing, we have, full visibility, which is fantastic, thanks to you guys, and also to our other data partners. There's a lot of organisation in the sort of sales and marketing ecosystem who have give us a glimpse into what's happening in the marketplace, and it's stitching together those insights and applying a bit of judgment gives us the ability to turn all the data into actions that we can take on a day-to-day basis.
What advice do you have if you're, starting out with, emerging brand into this industry with this crazy time that we're living in? Any words of wisdom?
Well, I must say I empathise for the people that did the same as Gail and put, their heart and their soul and probably their life savings into setting up a business in the last 12 to 18 months in the way that she did back in 2016, 2017. And to come to a point where you're launching or just launching your first set of SKUs, it must be terrifying doing that at this point in history. And so my heart goes out to all of those people. But I think that the people that have done that and the ones that will survive and come through this storm are the ones that have got, truly differentiated products. So I think, everyone's going to have to deal with the fact that there's going to be a need to be very, very differentiated in the marketplace. I think that the other piece of advice I would give is, no successful business is built on not taking risks. If you've taken a risk, then double down on it. I remember as Gail was setting up Caulipower, I said to her, she said, what should I do now? It's like, well, I would do more. I would double down on what you've done. Just keep doubling down, keep doubling down. And so for those people that are, that are out there, then I would continue to take obviously well-educated risks, but, don't become risk averse. That would be my second view. I think also we've got to think about the needs of consumers. So anyone that's got a new product pipeline has got to take a really close look at it and say, is this product, even if I put my heart and soul into this new product, is this going to resonate with consumers right now? There's a lot of people that are looking at sort of, on the go products. I mean, people are not on the go. So, on the go products are not doing particularly well at the moment because people are just not mobile. But that doesn't mean that people won't again be mobile, as things change and things get better. So what people are launching, people have to think really carefully. So I would say be differentiated, continue to take risks, and just really think hard about whether or not the consumer is really at the heart of a new product idea. Because if they're not, then that would not bode well.
Wonderful. Yeah. Leveraging your differentiation to make sure that you're an essential, right? And not just a nice to have, I think in this time is so important. So, and something that Caulipower is mastering. So.
Well, hopefully. I mean, everyone has benefited from all the pantry loading and the freezer loading that everyone's done. There's a lot of people talking about sort of a dash to comfort, but the interesting thing is that there is a dash to comfort, but there's a dash to healthy comfort. So hopefully we seem to be doing quite well from this period, but who knows? I don't have that crystal ball, but my thanks to you guys, because without the data you provided and also the consulting advice and the great client service, we wouldn't have as much visibility as we do have on our business right now.
Anyway, thank you, Stuart. It is always such a joy to talk to you. Thank you so much.
Likewise, Suzy. Thank you. Take care, Suzy.
All right. Thanks so much.
Bye.
Bye.